Hey, what's going on to you Libras out there? Hope y'all are having a great day. So for you Libras, you have the Hierophant, the Nine of Pentacles, and you have the Star card. So the thing is that for you, look, right? For you Libras, the Hierophant represents you Libras basically becoming way more spiritual. Sometimes a lot of you Libras, right, when y'all are existing and y'all are doing your thing, y'all can become shallow. Y'all know I don't hold back. Y'all know I don't care. Y'all know this. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know I don't care. I'm going to say what it is that I got to say because it's to help you. So you used to be shallow. Libra is a zodiac sign that, you know, only really goes as far as it used to, only really goes skin deep as far as thoughts is concerned. And a very physical zodiac sign, right? Even though it's an air sign, Libra is worried about the fanciful things, right? The luxury. And a lot of you Libras are not like that anymore. Yes, you are. You still love your fashion. You're never going to give that up. And that's not a problem. But what you Libras are also learning is that not everybody thinks like you. And that's a good thing to learn, because now you Libras can start to understand how other people think. And why that's such a good thing to understand how other people think is because when you have an understanding of this, you're able to actually do things that a lot of other people can't, right? Of course, there's going to be other people than you can do it, but not everybody can do this, which is to understand how people think, and because of that, what they want, right? And the Hierophant represents you learning how to be a lot more spiritual, a lot more spiritually tapped in, able to be way more observant, and to not be so fast to judge. Because like it is that I said before, it's actually, people say that Virgo is the most judgmental zodiac sign. That's actually Libra. That's why Libra represents the judge, right? Libra literally represents the courthouse where it is that you get judged, right? No pun intended. Literally, that's what Libra represents. So because of that, right, a lot of you realized that it's you, crazy cat, son. A lot of you Libras realize that it's you that has to change. And because of that, you've seen a lot of benefits. It wasn't easy for you, because it means, in order to make a profound change, one would have to admit that they are wrong. And the Nine of Pentacles and a Star card right here is about how, but you've been able to actually overcome that and admit to yourself that you Libras are wrong, and change what it is that you needed to change about yourself, that internal change. You know, understanding that there's a lot more depth to what other people have. And see, that's another thing too that I want to talk about, right? Like, the reason why it is that I say that Libras can be shallow in the first place, because number one, you know I don't hold back, and number two, it is the truth. It is the fact. Because I'll even show and prove, because the psychological profile of Libra, right? I'm talking about on his face. I'm talking about pale, flat, right? Is Libra is worried about their own personal feelings. They don't worry about other people's personal feelings. So that's shallow, because you don't take other people into consideration. You're not really tapped in to your surroundings because you're only worried about yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Now, again, if I say that, right, some people gonna take personal offense, but this is why it is that I say that I don't care, because for the people who get bent out of shape about that, I don't give a crap, because I'm saying things that are just factual. They're not biased. They're literally not biased. They're not curry favor. I really don't have anything to lose or gain by telling you a lie. As a matter of fact, I probably have more to lose by telling you a lie than I do to gain. I actually have more to gain by telling you the truth. So why wouldn't I just tell you the truth? You understand what I'm saying? Don't take it personally. For some people who would, because I know not all Libras are going to, right? I'm actually a big fan of Libra. But the point that I'm trying to make, I've met some good Libras along the way recently. You know what I mean? And it's changed my perspective on a lot of y'all. Um, uh, uh, in certain ways. But the point that I'm trying to make here with that is that it still stands. The science and the knowledge still stands in that sense, and I'm willing to stand firm on that hill. It's the fact that a lot of you Libras have changed now for the better, because you realize that wasn't necessarily the best way to be, because it made you out of touch with, like I said, out of touch with reality, out of touch with your surroundings. And so because that made you out of touch, you realize that wasn't the best thing for you. The Nine of Pentacles represents your mentality of change. You have changed since then to the Star card. You now understand your surroundings a lot more. But what you also understand is that, once again, you can't spend your energy with people who do not appreciate it and who downright don't deserve it. Because a lot of you Libras have been spending way too much of your time with knuckleheads. So a lot of you Libras are understanding that you spent a big portion of your life, or a considerable portion of your life, spending it on knuckleheads. So it's like now you Libras understand that you have to make up for it. And that's my point. I was there. That's part of the reason why it is that I didn't learn about understanding finances and money and stuff like this, and how you can make money stretch and stuff like this and grow. Is I didn't realize this up until my late 20s, actually. My late 20s. Back in 2020 is when I learned how. And the thing is that it took me a long time, because I took a minute myself, right, in order to get back up on my feet. Not only that too, but also the amount of friends that was wasting time and stuff like this, the drama that I was going through with them. They didn't know anything. They were knuckleheaded ninnies. They were stupid. So it would just waste time, right? And the Eight of Wands and the Queen of Cups is about how, since that's the case, a lot of you Libras are way better off since you started to understand your surroundings, understand other people. Way better off, because your lack of understanding of the surroundings around you made you Libras a lot less sociable because of it. See, the air signs, like I said before, the air signs, the air sign that would normally, the air sign that would figure out how to engage with other people first is actually Gemini. And then Libra and Aquarius pick it up, right? They learn to do this. Y'all learn to do this. And your life is a lot happier or better with that level of understanding, because, of course, it's not going to be fun being frozen out of your own life, being isolated out of your own life, right? Where you're just a separate entity, and the interactions that you have with other people is, that's not really fulfilling. If everything has a low ceiling to it on top of it too, right? because you want to maintain your composure all the time. That's cool and all that other type of stuff. That's cool for certain situations. But you don't really enjoy life like that if everything has such a low ceiling, right? Like the ceiling is only, the room is only 5 feet high. You go into the room, you gotta, for people who are over 5 feet, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta bend down, and I'm 5'7", so it's like you gotta bend down, bend your knees and do this stuff and all this. It's like it's not a very high ceiling. You don't really have fun. You get locked out of your own life. And a lot of you Libras are learning to not allow, your ideas and stuff like this and how you are stop you from feeling something. Because air signs, like I said before, y'all, the truth, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. A lot of y'all are afraid of getting hurt. A lot of y'all are afraid of, experiencing love, and then people clowning you for it, humiliating you for it, making you feel like an idiot for it. But Libra, you gotta understand, that comes with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see me up here, how many times, the people who I was going out with has, oh my gosh, I've been through some stuff where a person that I was talking to a friend of mine, the friend dirty macking, all this other type of crap, right? All of that, right? Stuff like that. You understand what I'm saying? So stuff like that. So it's like, everybody will go through it. What do you do in that situation? Well, it really depends. If you allow your ego to get you caught up in the situation, then you're going to get jammed up, because you don't live in reality. You don't look at things realistically. You're not really ready to take on the life's difficulties. You're going to take a lot of drastic, extreme approaches to things that really don't need all that amount of drastic approach. The Eight of Wands and the Queen of Cups, like I said, and because of the fact that you've become a lot more in tune, you're happy because of it. You're able to actually connect the way that you wanted to. The Empress and the Four of Cups represents, and it also makes it so that you're also, like I said, listening to your gut. You're listening to your instincts. Because that's another thing too that a lot of times people negate. This is why I tell y'all to it's not always about your head, and it's not always about your heart. The two of them have to agree, because when you listen to your instinct, sometimes your instincts will tell you things that the other parts of your brain just can't understand. It's called the instincts. So when you say, hey, listen, nah, this ain't cool. This person that you're getting to know may be a little bit of an idiot and all of that. There's no point in all this other type of stuff in getting to know them. Why would you decide to hang out with them? You Libras will know to stay away from somebody who acts like this, because you don't need to know every single thing about them. You don't need to spend years and 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 years, like what Cat Williams said, right? With Ludacris, getting to know this person, right? You can just hang out with the person for a couple of minutes and be like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? The Fool card, right? The Fool card in the Page of Pentacles represents you Libras are setting yourselves free. Free from the way that you used to be, free from the false perceptions, free from not being in tune enough. You are in tune now. A lot of people are really part of how do I say it? You see that some people really are rocking with you. It's probably friends that you had for years, family, family members that you've been around that's been rocking with you for years. And you Libras are starting to look at them like they're more important, because you understand the gravity, you understand the weight of it, of the fact that they care about you, you know. And you're finding how and where you belong, right? Where you don't have to, you know, I don't know, always, like, well, I do know, but I'm just being tongue in cheek. But you have to always perform, and like you have to meet them like you would friends, or like you would a love interest. It's a family, so it's like, or maybe it is a friend, someone that you've known for years, that has rocked with you from the very beginning. Anyway, the Page of Cups represents how, and it's kind of breaking you out of the delusion of, well, you know, maybe you have to protect your feelings because other people will do whatever it is that they can to find out what you hold near and dear and take it away from you. And some people will, but those are not friends. Those are not friends. So a lot of you Libras are understanding, you know, like I said, your belonging value, where you belong, the change, the internal, personal, spiritual changes that you've made that makes or reflects on the outside how you Libras move differently. A lot of you Libras already in your head, you're already loners enough as it is. But a lot of you are learning how to be both, where you're learning how to be loners, but you're also learning how to make peace or harmonize, which is what Libras are supposed to do, with your surroundings, right? Like, instead of trying to run game, you realizing that, you know, if you run game, that puts you in a place where that puts you in the game. And since you put in the game, that's where things end up getting messed up, because life is not about the game. Life is about living authentically as much as you can. The people who are caught up with the games are ultimately people who really don't actually live for themselves. They don't actually live for them. They don't actually become their real self, right? They putting on an act. You dig what I'm saying? So let's clarify the Page of Cups. Ten of Swords, Moon, Two of Swords, the World, the Three of Pentacles. To clarify the Page of Cups, yeah, the Ten of Swords and the Moon, because putting on an act just causes you more problems, and it will cause you more problems than it will cause you solutions. So the advice to you Libras is to continue to be yourself. The Two of Swords and the World, when it comes to getting to know other people, even at the expense of getting to know other people, be yourself. I mean, a lot of you Libras know how to make a very good first impression anyway. So I don't necessarily think that you Libras are gonna come off like spazzes to begin with anyway. You know, like y'all are at a fancy black tie party and y'all are just being absurd jerks. I don't really I don't necessarily think that that's really much more of a Libra thing. I think Libras are smooth. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all like to make a very smooth impression, you know, and I don't think y'all will be spazzes or like not being able to socialize anyway. The Three of Pentacles, and just like I said, understand what's happening. Don't, you know, scare yourself and put yourself in a box or any of that, or a limiting factor, any of that stuff. Just enjoy your time. But that's pretty much it. Comment on the video. Like the video, subscribe.